time. Yeah. 3 times. 4 times. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy. Could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road. Take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never Cain. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be help me, shout to let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hold on, I can't hear. Okay, I can hear. Happy Thursday to you all. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. wherever you are, from wherever you are joining me from. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, not Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. I gotta fix it so I can go live on Instagram because I should be, but I don't. Oh well. All right. Allow me to introduce myself, please. I go by Miss Mono in these content creator streets. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places the content creators be. And I'm on Snapchat now. Okay. So follow me even on the Snapchat at Miss Mono's World. I promise I do post. Some days I'm better than others at posting, but I do definitely post. Okay. All right, let's see. Let me do my little thingamajiggers while we're waiting. Okay. All right, yeah, and there's something I'm gonna need on here. Okay, here we go. All right, so all right, there we go. That was just my thing. All right, shout out to my audience on Nasaya TV. If you have not downloaded the Nasaya TV app, please go to your smart TV, your Roku's, your Fire Sticks. Download the Nasaya TV app. Not only episodes of my show, but lots of great content on that app. Okay, so go ahead and download that. Let's see. I don't know what else. I don't think I have anything else to get out the way right now. If you are not on the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Okay. All right. So just a few side topics. Before we get to the main topic, I went and saw Sinners. Okay, I went and saw Sinners. Me and my husband went and saw Sinners. And first of all, we went and saw Sinners on a Monday. It was a Monday evening. And I was surprised at how many people were there. Like we were talking about that after. Like we go to the movie. I mean, we don't go to every movie. Like it got to be something really good or something the kids want to see for us to actually go to the movie, as opposed to just waiting for it, to come out on streaming or whatever. But there was so much talk about Sinners. It was like, okay, we have to go see it right now. And then my youngest daughter went to see it. And she just had really great things to say. So we went to see it on Monday. Totally surprised by the amount of people that were there. And I have to say, it was a great movie. It was a great movie. I honestly want to say it was probably, as far as like, it was one of the most moving movies that I can remember seeing in a long time. Like, I don't think I've been moved by a movie like that since probably Malcolm X. And I know that was a long time ago, but I really, 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 and I don't understand all the beef. I don't understand all the drama behind the movie. I think people are just looking at the title being Sinners, and they're looking at the elements of hoodoo that are in the movie. And they're just taking that to kind of try to discredit the movie. But the thing is, like, if you participate in any other forms of media, like you sit and watch TV. I mean, people are on social media complaining about the elements of the media. Okay, so it's very kind of, I find it kind of hypocritical when people go after like one thing and not realizing that there's just so much that is not Bible-based about the media that we consume in general. Okay, so then to pick out this one movie, it's kind of crazy. I know we don't like to acknowledge the fact that a lot of our ancestors and forefathers did, in fact, practice hoodoo. They practiced different religious forms. They practiced witchcraft. Like, these were things that actually happened. Do we submit to that today? No. If you call yourself a Christian, you're not submitting to that today. But this is history. This did happen. And just because it may not be what you believe now doesn't mean that you get to discredit a significant portion of history. Okay. So yeah, I like the whole beef with the movie. I feel like it's kind of whack. It was a great movie, really touching, really moving. I want to go see it again because it's definitely one of those movies that you're so into the movie, you're gonna miss stuff. Like there was a part when they were talking about Sammy playing and how him playing music would conjure spirits of music from the past and the future. And so they ran through like a visual montage of black music and black history from like the blues to scratching and DJing and b-boying. It was really, really a great movie. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I don't know, I'll probably wait till it come out on stream. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. It was that good. So if you have not seen it, go and see it. It's not scary. It's not a horror film. There are vampires in it, okay? But I want you to think, like, if you're old enough to remember Vampire in Brooklyn, it's not scary. I mean, it's not a comedy, but it's not scary. Is it bloody? Yes, it's bloody, but you can see blood on prime time Monday through Friday. So it wasn't scary, and I don't like horror movies at all. I refuse to watch horror movies because I don't entertain the spirit of fear. Like, that is one thing I do not play about. So I don't like horror movies. This is not a horror movie. It's definitely a great show. So definitely go check it out. Let me tell y'all. There's this group on Facebook in my community group. And every time they get an opportunity to talk about Black people committing crime in Douglas County, they take it. And what's made it so horrible now is that the fighting and stuff that is occurring is being caught on video. And, we can all sit here and scream like, well, white people do it too. White people do it too. But as you know, what is going to be disproportionately reported in the media? When Black people do it. Right. And so it's like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? You want to say something like, stop picking on us, but it's on video. So can we stop? Can we as Black people stop with the embarrassing behavior? And can you help the kids? Get the kids. I'm tired of it. Okay. All right. So I have a 2-part video to share with y'all, okay? The first part I was able to get on Facebook. And then the second part I found today when I was trying to find more information about the original situation. So we're going to watch 2 videos and then we're going to talk about it, okay? Just to give you I don't think I need to give you any background. I think it'll be in the video. So let's watch this one and then we'll watch the next one.
Put your hands on my son.
I caught him in the bed with my daughter.
They don't give you a right to put your hands on my son.
He know the rules. He know the rules.
Okay, and I tell him the rules, but when it comes to my children, you do not put your hands on my child.
They don't go in the bedroom.
Understood.
They stay in the living room.
Understood. He put his hands on you, correct? Do not touch my child anymore. And I wouldn't touch your child. Don't.
I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him. I roughed him up. I threw him out. He knew the rules.
It doesn't matter. You could have spoke to him. You didn't have to touch him. You didn't have to use physical force.
So did you even know who he was? Where he was?
He said he was going to a friend's house. I didn't know he was coming over here.
Oh, so you don't keep tabs on your own son?
Of course I keep tabs on my son.
That's crazy.
And you need to watch your mouth because telling you don't put your hands on my child anymore. Is that understood?
Hold on. Wait right here. Baby,
so I ain't waiting on nothing. And you can bring whoever you like.
Okay, so that's part 1. Now, let's go to part 2. Save your opinions because, yeah, okay, I was there too. But let's go to part 2, okay? Before we talk about it. Okay, here's part 2.
Child anymore. Is that understood?
Hold on. Wait right here. Baby,
so I ain't waiting on nothing. And you can bring whoever you like.
Where did I catch y'all last night?
In the room.
Right. And
okay.
You already know that ain't no boy supposed to be in your room, right?
Yes, but I didn't know he was going to stay overnight. He know
and you know.
But you know the rules too. I'm not telling you to stay overnight.
Now you know my rules as well. You do have to respect people's house when you are there.
But mom, no, speak up, because you know he's shy. Tell them what you told me. You said when you told
Shy or not?
No, because he said it was her idea for him to go in the room, and she the one who wanted him to spend the night.
So
she said she was scared. Speak up. Tell them what you told me.
So
Isn't that what he told us?
Jacked up, basically.
So you accusing my daughter of
Now how would you like it?
No,
how would you like it if I put my hands on your daughter?
He wasn't like that at all with it. You wasn't like that at all with it.
That's it. That you wouldn't go with that.
You ain't gonna put your
Okay,
hands
so
on
you're
me.
not gonna put
That
your
is
hands on
as
my
simple
son.
Or I will.
You
Sorry about that. I was on mute, y'all. Okay, so look, as a mom of boys and a mom of girls, okay, like I get both parts of this issue. I really do. And the fact of the matter is both kids need to be dealt with. Okay, period. Both kids need to be dealt with because this situation can end very dangerously, and it has multiple times. I recall hearing multiple articles on fathers shooting their daughter's boyfriends when they have found them in the bed with their daughters. Okay, hold on, let me find. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to share this article. Texas dad fatally shoots 17-year-old boy he finds hiding in his daughter's bedroom. Okay. A Texas father fatally shot a 17-year-old boy he caught hiding in his 16-year-old daughter's bedroom early Thursday morning. The father was apparently alerted by the girl's younger brother around 2 a.m. after he saw 2 feet under her bed in their North Harris County home. When the girl's dad confronted the teens, deputies say his daughter at first denied knowing who the boy was. Okay, so now it's 2 a.m. Your younger child comes running in your room and telling you, I saw a pair of feet or I saw some feet under my sister's bed. Your 16-year-old daughter under my sister's bed. I saw a pair of feet. Okay, any person is going to jump up. Of course, if you got the strap, you're going to grab your strap, okay? And you're going to go see what's going on in there. So now you're asking your child, hey, what's up with these feet under your bed? And your child looks at you and says, I don't know who this is under my bed. I don't know why he's under my bed. Okay, so you're in that situation. The man's daughter initially claimed not to know the boy. When the boy made a sudden move, the dad fired, killing him at the scene. It was when the boy made a sudden move as if to grab something, the 55-year-old man opened fire, shooting the boy once and killing him at the scene. Authorities say his daughter later told him that she let the boy, who has not been publicly identified, inside her bedroom. So she confesses to this later on after this child has already lost his life and after her father has already taken a life. Angelina, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Okay, and so this is on both of them because the daughter should not have let the boy in her room. Period. In every case, the daughter should not have let the boy in her room. But then the dad comes in there with the Thule. And the daughter's like, I don't know who this is. I don't know who's under my bed. So my child is telling me she doesn't know who this person is. And then you go to reach to grab something. Can you blame the dad? I don't blame the dad. My child is telling me she doesn't know who this man is that's under her bed. And then you go like you going to reach for something. Okay, and this has happened multiple times. I remember hearing these stories on the news a lot. Let's see. Let me try to pull up this other one. Okay. Here's another article. Daughter tells police man killed by father in her bedroom was her boyfriend. Investigators are trying to sort out what happened inside an apartment in Northeast Philadelphia late Monday night. A father shot and killed his daughter's boyfriend when he discovered the man inside their home. The father was released Tuesday afternoon after being questioned by police. The case is now in the hands of the DA. Police were called to the apartment last night, to a second floor apartment where a 41-year-old man lives with his 20-year-old daughter. Upon police arrival, they found a 32-year-old male was shot one time in the head. He was pronounced dead at the hospital a short time later. The initial report was that he was an intruder who broke into the apartment and was shot by the homeowner when he found him in his daughter's bedroom. Police say the man climbed through the second-story window, but now say it seems he wasn't an intruder. He was a 20-year-old daughter's boyfriend she invited into their apartment. The father heard when he woke a noise in her bedroom, went to investigate, and found a man he'd never seen before crouching near her bed. He told the stranger to get down, stay still, and call 911. Sources say the father was on the phone with the dispatcher when the man moved. The father fired once, shooting him in the head. The father and daughter are taken in for questioning. So at the time of this story, it was still under investigation, but they did not keep the father and the daughter in jail. They allowed them to go home. Again, another senseless life lost. And I don't remember what I was listening to. I was listening to somebody, but they were talking about how when someone takes a life, like that's a traumatic experience for them. So, you know what I'm saying? These men are just trying to protect their daughters, but it's their daughters who are leading them into these horrible situations in the first place. Now, I get that it's hard to keep tabs on these kids. I get it. Even with Life 360 and everything else, they're gonna find ways. Like I've seen my daughters have inadvertently shown me how they changed their Find Me locations because they don't want their little friends to know exactly where they're at. They didn't mean to show me, but they'll like come use my iPad or something to check the location, and then they showing me what they're doing to change the location so whoever's looking for them can't find them. So it's like, even as much as we as parents may try to keep tabs on them, it's hard. They grown out here. They have the ability to move independently. And then it's kind of like all you can do is pray for them. Okay. But on both ends, on the ends of the daughter and on the ends of the sons, please, let's talk to our kids. Like, if anything, they have to know, like, okay, you can tell me the truth. Like, before this gets out of hand. And I'm not saying that finding a boy in your daughter's bedroom is not a reason to be upset. Not at all. But in light of what possibly could happen, please, let's talk to our daughters. Okay. Yes, let's talk to our sons. Stay out of people's houses. Like, in our home with our kids, we don't just drop our kids off at people's house. No, I need to talk to a parent. I need to know an adult is going to be there. I need to know that an adult is going to know that you are there so that nothing like this can occur. This is why we have to be careful about who we're letting our kids hang out with. These men were not wrong for protecting their homes and protecting their families from what they perceived or what they were told by their daughters is a threat. They're not wrong for that, but now they have to live with the guilt of knowing that they took a life. And I don't even want to, I'm sure the daughters were not thinking like, oh, my dad is going to kill this guy. But I can't imagine the kind of trauma that they're going through either. But in this instance, in this video, like that mom showing up to the door, doing all that rah-rah and stuff, no, she was wrong for that. She was wrong for that because at the end of the day, her son was in that man's house. And instead of her checking her son, and the thing to do would have been to bring the son to apologize to the father. That would have been the thing to do because no, he shouldn't have been in your house at all. And he needs to come to apologize to you. That would have been the thing to do. But her all up in this man's face doing all that. And then if the man would have knocked her out, she'd have been talking about, oh, he hit me. Oh, he hit me. Don't come to my door acting all crazy. And then whatever that was in the burgundy that popped up behind the mom, That's the problem. That's a lot of these problems. When you see mama's boys and you see men that don't have any kind of backbone, these are the kind of mothers that produce those kind of men. Because their mom will never make them take accountability. Their mom's never going to make them stand up on their own. So for the rest of their life, whenever something happens to them, they're going to feel like, oh, my mom's going to take care of it. My mom's going to take care of it. Who wants to be married to a man like that? I know I don't. I know I don't. So please, let's talk to our children so that we can avoid these kind of situations, okay? All right. So like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Thank y'all so much. Okay, I just need a little tea right there. Okay, so I left a lot of time for our main topic on purpose because it's a lot, right? We've been in a 3-week series titled Thugs, Hoes, and Rappers. And I'm telling you. So let me tell y'all where I got this from. There's a conservative figure named Vince Everett Ellison, and he does a YouTube show where he talks about being a Black conservative. And the way he describes the Democratic Party, he describes them as a party of liars, perverts, anti-Christian bigots, thugs, hoes, and rappers. Okay. And he added the thugs, hoes, and rappers on there in response to how the Democratic Party tends to reach out and bring all the rappers onto their platform when it's time for them to get elected. Like if you recall how Kamala had Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage at the freaking Democratic National Convention. Okay. And I know what you're going to say. Well, white people had musical acts too. The Republicans had musical acts too. No, but they didn't have musical acts with the content and that were dressed and that were gyrating in the fashion that Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion and all these other rappers were doing. And so now you see how it's a spectacle. Okay. There wasn't a display of great musical talent. It wasn't. It was just some girls talking and twerking. Okay, so that's where I got the whole thugs, hoes, and rappers things from, right? So when I was thinking about the whole rapper situation, it's just crazy to me how people who are able to put words to music or people who are able to create music possess this kind of power that allows them to manipulate people's emotions. It can invoke different feelings. It can motivate people to do or not to do something, right? And so my first question was how? How do these rappers become so influential? Because what else are they doing besides music? And don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about why music is so important and how it influences us, influences us. But at the end of the day, what qualifications does a rapper have to advocate for a political elected official? What qualifies Meg Thee Stallion to jump on stage behind a woman who is running for president of the United States and say, oh, yes, we as Black people should vote for her because she has our best interests at heart? Mind you, Meg Thee Stallion was just awarded by Planned Parenthood for being one of their best advocates. She did a promotion for them called Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, just have a plan. So Plan A is supposed to be birth control, initial birth control, the pill, IUD, whatever. Plan B is the Plan B pill. Y'all know what the Plan B pill is. That's the morning after pill. And it does not prevent ovulation. See, when the Plan B pill first came out, we knew what it was. They told us it makes you flush yourself so that if anything is implanted, it will abort. Okay, so that's how Plan B works. They've changed it now to say, oh, it prevents ovulation and all this other stuff, which may be one of the effects, but the initial purpose of the pill is to clean any possible babies out. Okay. And then plan C is abortion. Abortion. It's the campaign, and y'all can look this up. The campaign is called Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Just have a plan. So it doesn't matter what you have to do to enjoy your sexual liberation. Just have a plan, even if it means aborting children. Okay? How is this woman qualified to influence anyone's political decision? Where does she get the power to do it? What gave Diddy the right to tell us to get out and vote? Why are these people who, because of their status, career choice, or whatever, they are now so far removed from the issues, from the everyday issues of Black people? Why do we continue to let them be lauded as our representatives? And I say we continue to because they keep doing it because it keeps working. If it wasn't working to get y'all out to the polls, to get y'all to vote for them, they wouldn't keep doing it. But why? What is it about what they do that has so much drive and so much force that it really kind of it defines us as a generation of Black people, right? Because when people think of Black culture, what's the first thing they say? Hip hop. The first thing they're going to point you to is hip hop. Hip hop is Black culture. Hip hop is Black American culture. And they'll tell you this. But how did a type of music become a culture? I mean, country music is not a culture that defines a whole group of people, right? Like, you expect certain people to listen to country music and you see the Little Cowboys or whatever, but you don't look at a white person and immediately be like, oh yeah, we're going to label them country. Classical music is not a culture that you would label someone as. But Black people have to carry this misnomer of the hip hop culture. How and why is it this way? So of course I start researching and looking, trying to find out, where is the power of music coming from? Why does it affect us like this? And so I stumble upon some information about mirror neurons, like a mirror that you look into. Okay. And neurons are these parts of your brain that help your neurotransmitters communicate with each other. This is how you conduct a lot of the chemical responses in your brain. Okay. All right. So let's go to this here. Let's see. Okay. So a lot of us understand that music helps with learning facilitation. This is why you put the ABCs to music. When you teach little kids their ABCs, you don't teach them A, B, C, D. No, you teach them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. When we were teaching when our sons were little, we used to put these YouTube videos on and it would play the alphabet and it would play their phonics over and over again. So much so that when it was time for them to start reciting it, they just got it. They just knew. That's something we didn't really have to go over with them because of the videos they had been watching, because it was put to song. So this Wikipedia article talks about learning facilitation and these mirror neurons. So the article reads, another possible function of mirror neurons would be the facilitation of learning. The mirror neurons code the concrete representation of the action, i.e. the representation that would be activated if the observer acted. So in some other stuff I was reading, they were talking about how a group of mice would watch another group of mice go to eat and it would light up certain parts of their brain or certain parts of their memory. Okay. This would allow us to simulate or to repeat internally the observed action implicitly in the brain to collect our own motor programs of observed actions and get ready to reproduce the actions later. Okay? So you're watching something happen. Your brain goes through the function of what you're watching happen so that you can do it later. It's like when you're teaching somebody how to cook. Like if I'm sitting there and watching my mom cook, I'm observing what she's doing. I'm working through it in my brain. So now I can go and do this again later. That's what learning is, right? You watch, you observe, you do, and then you show someone else. This is how you learn. Okay. It is implicit training. Due to this, the observer will produce the action explicitly in his or her behavior with agility and finesse. This happens due to associative learning processes. The more frequently a synaptic connection is activated, the stronger it becomes. This is why practice makes perfect. Do it again, do it again, do it again till you get it right. You're making that connection. And every time you do this or you repeat this thing, this connection becomes stronger. Now, remember, this is a learning connection, okay? You're going to use this connection to repeat this activity later. Well, what does this have to do with music? Because I'm not really watching someone do something. I'm not really observing a thing. Okay, let's go to some more information about how these mirror neurons work, okay? All right. This is from the NIH. It is a common experience to be transported back through time when we hear one of our favorite songs, okay? So think about one of your favorite songs. Matter of fact, I don't even have to tell y'all what's coming next. I don't have to tell you. You already know what's coming next, right? You've listened to this song enough. This song, y'all know what song I was about to play. Thank you for the likes. That song is connected with enough of your memories so that as soon as you hear that violin play, you already know what's up. You're looking for a dance floor, right? Okay. Summer vacation with our best friend, to the school disco, to that cross-country drive, our first teenage crush. Music is a universal human trait, offering the mind a unique mode of communication, a mean of evoking or stimulating different emotions, and most importantly, the kind of experience that can unite and define social groups, generations, and cultures. Just like Back That Ass Up. If you graduated 99, this was your jam, okay? I remember that is my best memory to that song is dancing at a graduation party after I graduated from high school. People around the world use song and dance to tell stories, to conduct rituals, to teach children about their history and culture, to entertain, and to relax. Here's what I want y'all to hone in on this. We relate to music spontaneously and effortlessly, and often with an emotional response. Okay, that means you cannot help it. All right, that song that makes you cry because you listened to it during a breakup, you're not going, it can be 20 years later. You may not cry, but you're going to remember that song making you cry. All right, that song that you listen to on the way to school every morning. Like my mom used to listen to Tom Joyner in the morning. I still know if I hear the tune from the Tom Joyner morning show, I know it. It invokes a response. I remember riding to school with my mom or being in the car with my mom or all these different things, okay? Okay. So yet the nature of such musical extremity experiences is extremely complex. The processing and representation of music involves a multitude of perceptual and cognitive mechanisms that have yet well, I'm reading the article. That have yet to fully be described. It has been, okay, so let me read that again. The nature of such musical experiences is extremely complex. The processing and representation of music involves a multitude of perceptual and cognitive mechanisms that have yet to fully be described. So they don't even know. Scientists, the medical community does not even fully understand how it is that music affects us, okay? Let's see. Do I want to keep going? Okay. It has been recently proposed that music is best understood as a form of communication in which acoustic patterns, which acoustics is just related to music and sound, and their auditory representations elicit a variety of conscious experiences. Again, you're listening to music, it's giving you these memories, okay? Here we review some recent evidence. Here we review some recent evidence on the neural basis of musical processing in relation to two other modes of communication, language and action, both of which have been described as supported by the human mirror neuron system. Okay, so this system that that music invokes is also the same system that affects language and action. Okay, remember that. All right. We hypothesize that the powerful, effective responses that can be provoked by apparently abstract musical sounds are supported by this human mirror neuron system, which may subserve similar computations during the processing of music, action, and linguistic information. Okay, I think I'm done with that piece of article. All right, so we read all that, okay? We read all that, and basically what it's saying is they don't understand how music affects us, right? They have no idea how the mechanics of it take place. They can research and hook people up to machines and see, okay, it's lighting up this part of your brain, it's lighting up that part of your brain. The how and the why, we have no idea. Okay, let me go through these comments. Earth Alchemy Holistic, thank you so much for joining me. Scent is attached to memory as well. Yes, it is. It has to be primordial. It has to be that's something that God just placed in us when he created us. It has to be, because there's no other way to explain it. The Piper effect, that's a good one. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so we know that music affects our language centers and our action centers. It affects the part of our brain that has to do with emotion, right? The more I was reading about how different keys can invoke different emotions depending on the culture. So like with Black culture, major keys are meant to invoke happiness. These are your happier, lighter notes. But when you get into minor keys, these are your more depressed, low vibrational notes, things like that, okay? So I want us to think about the fact that music affects our language center. Music affects our action center. And I want you to think about the type of music that we are fed in the Black community. And what do I mean by fed? Okay. If you get in your car and you turn on the AM station, go like here, okay? Our local news station is 95.5. It's on the FM dial, but it's related to the news, and it's also on the AM dial. It's like 7:50 AM or whatever. When you get on this frequency, you're going to hear news, you're going to hear information, you're going to hear commercials about banking, about hedge funds, about medical services, whole body scans, home renovations, new and improved I mean, this is where you're going to hear all of these great things. You're going to get some information. It's uplifting and it's edifying, okay? Turn to freaking, like here it would be 107.9 FM. If you're up north, you're gonna turn to what, 97.1 or WBLS or whatever. It's nothing but bass driven derogatory lyrics. It's derogatory lyrics. And you're gonna be like, not all of it. Name me a song that doesn't have one. Okay, name me a song where it's not that you hear played on the radio repeatedly back to back. I'm not talking about that one gospel song that they sneak in after the morning show. All right, I'm talking about the entire the 4 hours of content that you were listening to before the 15-minute praise break or whatever they give you. Okay? As someone who loves to dance, you're completely correct. Frequencies that affect water in our brains. It may. Like I said, they don't know. The scientists, the people, the doctors who were supposed to do this for a living, they don't know. Okay? But and this has been researched before, how the FM dial, the dial that is advertised the most to Black people, is very limited in the amount of music or the diversity of music that can be played. Also, look at the difference in the commercials on these Black stations. What are most of them for? Freaking accident lawyers. What I haven't listened to it in so long, like I can't remember the jingles, but this is where you're gonna find all the in a car wreck, get a lawyer. This is where you're gonna find all these crazy commercials and all these lawyers making rap songs that are supposed to appeal to you. When the fact of the matter is, let me tell y'all something about those. Sidebar, I was in a car accident like 11 years ago now. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I was in a car accident about 11 years ago, and we were looking for a lawyer, and my husband was calling around, and he called one of these, crash injury places or whatever. I don't remember who he was talking to, but they told him like, no, don't do that. It's a scam. They're going to send you to the doctor. They're going to rack up all these bills, and then they're just going to run off with your money. So we went to a regular law firm that was not advertised as an accident injury attorney. And we got a nice little settlement, which allowed us to start our businesses. Okay. So there is a difference, right? There is a difference in what they're feeding us. Okay. They changed the frequency from 440 to 433. I would not be surprised. Bookie, I learned that from being with you. You listen to white radio and get commercials that are for your betterment. Exactly. Listen to Black stations and it's 411 pain commercials. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of the name, but yes, that's what you're gonna hear. 411 pain commercials. So they feed us different music based on how they want us to think. A lot of the same beats. Yes, absolutely. I'm enjoying the topic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. They feed us different music based on how they want us to think, okay? And now I need y'all to flow with me here, right? Because even in the beginning, if you want to go back to Muddy Waters and the very beginning of the record of Black music, it was about our experiences, okay? And I'm not saying that Black music back then wasn't bad. I'm not saying that. Because if you listen to some of the lyrics, it's like, whoa, what the heck is going on here, right? But those genres of music have been taken from us and turned into something else. And now we're not presented with a variety of music in the mainstream. If you are a Black person and you have interest in anything besides mainstream rap and R&B, you have to research that on your own. You're not going to turn on 97.5 and they have a classical music corner where they're teaching you about the fundamentals of Mozart and Beethoven. You have to go out and find this stuff on your own. Our music was never meant to edify us. The mainstream music that we play was never meant to edify us. And here's what I'm going to say. And I know a lot of y'all aren't going to like this, but even a lot of the gospel music that we are fed on mainstream media is just meant to invoke an emotional response, okay? If you listen to the lyrics of the music, it really, without a substantial education and understanding your belief system, it is just meant to make you clap your hands and stomp your feet, and have a good time. Okay. And now another, as y'all know, a lot of these rappers that are blowing up off of TikTok sounds, right? Hold on, let me read these comments. Nobody told me nothing. They was on their way to the house and their spirit stopped me and said, send them away. All praises to the Most. I'm so glad you listened because it changed our life. I mean, imagine if we wouldn't have got that check. Somebody else would have walked away with our freaking future. So I'm so glad you listened. Thank you so much, man. Okay. Yeah, Led Zeppelin took Muddy Waters and made $1 million on it. They did. Like Energy Harvesting or something. Listen, Sinners. Y'all have to watch Sinners. Y'all have to watch Sinners. This Energy Harvesting comment made me think of that. Y'all have to watch Sinners because this is shown visually a lot in the movie. Y'all need to check it out. Okay, so now a new medium for getting this music directly to us has become TikTok, right? and there's TikTok sounds to songs that I don't hear because I don't listen to the radio. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm in my car, and even when I am in the car, I'm not listening to I'm sorry, y'all, it's my allergies. Even when I am in the car, I'm not listening to mainstream rap, but I am going to hear it on TikTok. And guess what? I'm going to hear it repeatedly on TikTok because they will put these songs to a trend. And so once a song gets hooked to a trend, now they purposely show it to more people when you have this sound in your video. If y'all understand how TikTok works, right? And so one of the most used songs on TikTok right now is a song by the rapper Doechii. I don't know if y'all know her, but she's fairly new. And this song is called Anxiety. Okay, the song is called Anxiety, and it is off of her Coven music collection. Now, if you don't know what a coven is a collective of witches, okay? And I don't want anything that comes from a witch. I don't want anything that comes from a witch at all, okay? So I don't even let this song play. If this song is on a video, I don't watch the video. Okay. Let me share some of the words with you. Okay. Anxiety, keep on trying me. I feel it quietly trying to silence me. My anxiety can't shake it off of me. Somebody's watching me and my anxiety. Solo, no mojo. I bounce back, no pogo. Unhappy, no homo. New brands, no logos. Money on my jugular. Natural hustler. Think I need a smuggler up in Russia. How she made that rhyme? I don't know. Let's see. You could be my butler. Shout out to my cutler. Shout out to Owinda. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, I call it a sex scene. The back is a nice tease. I tried to escape. My life is an X-ray. I'm sorry, a sex tape. You only get one take. Quiet on the set, please. Rolling Anxiety. So now, if the music is activating my language and action centers in my brain, and I'm listening to this song about anxiety, keep on trying me, I can't shake it off of me. When I wake up with the anxiety, or when I put the phone down and I'm anxious, whose fault is that? And you're not just going to hear this song once. They're going to play it over and over again. You like when you listen to the radio now and they keep playing the same 10 songs over and over again. So much so that if one station goes on a commercial, you go to the next station and they're playing that same song you just tried to get away from. It's not on purpose, okay? They understand how music affects us, even if they don't have the exact parts of it down. I mean, this is something that goes back to the beginning of time. Music was always a force used to command, to move people. When you see the history of the drums and how they use the drums in war to motivate the soldiers or just to even keep them moving to a rhythm. These things are not done sporadically. This is not some kind of experiment where they're like, oh, well, let's just see what happens. And see, here's the thing. We're never going to escape this. We're never going to escape this because as long as there's more than one person around, somebody else is going to feel the need to prove that they're better than someone else. What do I mean by that? Listen, the hip hop industry could be destroyed tomorrow. The hip hop industry could be destroyed tomorrow. If every rapper and every singer pulled out and decided they wanted nothing else to do with the industry, it would collapse. It would collapse and it wouldn't be. There would be no more hip hop radio station. There would be freaking MTV would lose the majority of its content. No more Wildin' Out. No more baddies. You got to understand how all of this feeds each other. Okay? And here's the thing though. The love of money being the root of all evil, and people being greedy for riches, willing to do anything to get these worldly riches, means that this is always going to be a problem. This is always going to be a problem. This is why you'll have rappers who will tell you, I don't let my kids listen to this stuff. My kids don't listen to this music, but they have no problem putting it out there for your kids to listen to. And they can't say that they don't know that your kids are listening to it because the kids are the biggest consumers with anything. They'll tell you that. The only reason they market to parents is because they know the kids are going to keep bothering them about it. That's why you see so many kid commercials. Nickelodeon, watch a SpongeBob episode full of commercials. Kids can't buy stuff, but they know how to beg their parents and how to nag their parents and how to get their parents to do it. And we went from iPods to cell phones that can do everything. And now it's to the point that your kid is consuming content and you have no idea what they're listening to, what they're seeing, what they're hearing. Okay, hold on. Let's go to some of these comments. I'm sick of it too. Like the more I read about it and the more I think about it, it's predatory. It's predatory. I have a friend that's a rap artist and he's all I listen to as far as rap goes. I'll listen to some old school rap. Okay, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was something else that I had read too. And that takes me to my next portion. This new era of mumble rap, okay? It's more dangerous than what we had. And you know, I don't know about you, but my mother did not allow hip hop. My mother did not allow rap music in her home on Sundays at all. You couldn't play rap music at all on Sundays. If you was playing music in my mama's house on Sunday, it had to be gospel music. And even if you were playing rap music in her house Monday through Saturday, it couldn't have curse words in it. It couldn't be any explicit language, anything like that. Okay? Because, you know, she didn't know what she knew, but she knew. Okay? But now you have mumble rap. Okay? And let's talk about mumble rap. Mumble rap is a subgenre characterized by slurred, repetitive, and often melodic flow over hard-hitting beats. It has a strangely addictive quality that hooks listeners, even those who initially dismiss it. Here's why it's so compelling. Okay? The hooks. In this article that I'm reading, it talks specifically about Future's song Mask Off, where the hook is Percocets, Molly Percocet, something else that rhymes with Percocet. Okay, this is something that's easy to remember. See, I don't listen to too much of this stuff, so I don't know too many of the hooks and the choruses. But okay. Unlike complex lyricism, which is what you have when you're looking at old school rap, mumble rap simplicity lets the brain relax and latch onto the vibe rather than dissecting the meaning. Okay, so this is for all the people who say, oh, I don't listen to the words when I listen to rap music. I just listen to the beat. I don't understand how you don't listen to the words, first of all, okay? But hold on. Sorry, gotta do this TikTok thing. Okay. But we went from rappers who would tell stories and give you a visual imagery to what we have now where you can barely understand what they're saying. All right. And I'm not saying that wasn't bad. Okay. But you went from dance and party music back in the 70s and 80s, right? Think about Rob Bass and It Takes Two. That was a party song. All he was talking about was dancing in that song. He's talking about being at a party and them two dancing. I don't like music following a preacher when speaking. We talked about that earlier. And yeah, because that's because they want you to invoke emotion. That's why. You had party songs. You had Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. You had oh my gosh, Run DMC. You had Big Daddy Kane. You had not Fab Five Freddy. Who am I thinking about? I don't know. But just think about how our rap music was back then. You had words, it tells stories, right? And so even into the 90s, as some of us are growing up, and some of us are growing up in the 90s, we're talking about like tween years, 10s, 11s, and 12s. Now you have this gangster rap making its way to us, right? And so my first memorable incident with gangster rap would have been like Tupac, right? Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z. They were telling stories, even though the stories were horrible. They were still telling stories. I mean, and with Jay-Z and Biggie, when you talk about Brooklyn's Finest, it's nothing but talking about selling drugs and killing people. Like, you look at Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die. Matter of fact, there's this one song when he talks about being in this woman's house and her boyfriend comes home and he's like, you better talk to him if I put a spark to him, lose major parts to him. And, he's telling you a whole story. We don't even get that anymore with mumble rap. You just got people like Future talking about drugs, people like Young Thug speaking whatever they want. Let me read y'all the lyrics of this song called Dumb, Dumb, and Dumber by Lil Baby, okay? And I went through my Apple Music because, like I said, I don't listen to this music. So I had to go to Apple Music and see the music that they were suggesting to me. So I went through to comb through these lyrics. And now here's something else I want y'all to look at. I feel like since we went from storyline rapping to punchline rapping, none of this makes sense. And I kind of feel like it's purposely done so that you don't collect a cohesive thought, okay? Like, let's read this. Pour it on thick like syrup, elevator pad at the crib, shopping bags all on the floor, never seen me twice with a hoe. Backyard vibes by the ocean, driveway looks like a car show. 350 million, I'm the GOAT. Custom leather Poochie on the door. 50 birds of dog on my wrist. What the hell are you even saying? Cocaine jumping off my bish. 32 shots with the glitch. Talking Vicks. Then we talking Chris. What? Micro Mini with a beam. Putting the side hoes in Celine. Geeking off the millions like a bean. Push a button and make your mama grieve. I could go on, okay? There's more. I could go on. But it's nonsensical. Fragment sentences that you're getting. And then all it's talking about is what's referred to as flex culture, which causes a whole nother problem in our community, because now I'm listening to this music and it is affecting my brain in ways that I don't even understand, okay? But I know it's affecting my language and my action, which is why people, I feel like, talk in quotes from songs. It affects your language center. And now this makes total sense. Right? But it's also affecting your actions. And as I was reading, it was talking about how it invokes certain emotions. And so the mirror neurons in your brain, when they are taking in the music, they are also taking in and processing the emotion evoked by this music. Back That Ass Up is meant to make you party. It's a party song, okay? I'm trying to think of another song. A classic. Like, I want to bring up a classic. All right, now listen to this. Everybody knows this song. Everybody does. I mean, you have. Y'all probably know you know the song from the beginning of the video, right? Because we all grew up watching The Box and BET and everything else. Hold on. Okay, look, I don't even have to finish playing it. You're already bopping to the song because of the beats and the emotion it's meant to invoke. And if you know Gin and Juice, okay, so now if we have all these party songs that drove us to want to party and have a good time, what are we doing with songs where all they talk about is drug use and lean? Okay, I enjoy a few Travis Scott songs, but this whole song where he mumbling about being the highest in the room. And he's not even using real words in the song. In a room. Light up with ideas. I'm the highest in the room. It's a wave. That's the best way I can describe how your brain is processing it. It's a wave. There's nothing to make you stop and think, right? I'm trying to think of a song that like makes you stop and think, but I can't really think of one. David Bowie talked about the black, but I think I've read about that before. The story of Orpheus. How does that relate to music? I thought Orpheus was the one that had the crush on his mom. But now you're gonna make me look it up. Okay. Another addictive quality about mumble rap is the ad libs as the mini highs. Okay. You know how they like to, it's lit and burp and skirt. These are mini highs and they actually cause a release of dopamine in your brain. I think that's why the Migos took off so hard. Raindrop, drop top, and then you got, I think that was Takeoff in the back with the sounds. And the ad libs was some of the most recited parts of the song, right? It's little dopamine hits, and I didn't even know this. But it's providing little mini highs for you as you're listening. Mumble rap often blends flexing with melancholy. So, okay, like the song we were just reading the lyrics to, the flexing, 350 million, I'm the GOAT. custom leather Poochie on the floor, and then geeking off millions like a bean, push a button and make your mama grieve. Okay, it's like, yeah, I got money and I don't care. And this is what this is promoting. This is why mumble rap has become so addictive. Because honestly, it's like when you first hear it, it's like, what the heck are they even talking about? Like, what are they saying? Okay, let me pull up one of these songs. Okay, this song right here, and I jam out to this, not jam out, not a jam out song, but okay. This song in particular is mixed with the melancholy, right? The melancholy, you have what's called a lifestyle aesthetic, right? The flex culture. He's in this nice car. He's talking. I'm trying to remember the whole contents of the box. You don't. I don't even remember the words to the song. I know the beat. That's just how much I don't really listen to it. But they talk about auto tune as an emotional feature. I'm sorry, emotional filter. The robotic melodic effect makes pain sound cool and detached. It's crazy. Okay, so TikTok and viral challenges, we talked about that. The guilty pleasure effect, low stakes enjoyment. Unlike serious rap, mumble rap doesn't demand deep analysis. It's pure escapism, making it easy to. You don't hear the music when I play it? Oh, that's crazy. So I was just bopping for nothing. Okay. Well, I played the box. I played the beginning. So you didn't hear the Snoop Dogg either? Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought y'all was hearing the music as I was playing it. Maybe because I'm not sharing the screen. But okay. So it contains low stakes enjoyment. Unlike serious rap, mumble rap doesn't demand deep analysis. It's pure escapism, making it easy to binge. There's nothing for you to think about. This is not Public Enemy. Even there's this song I love by is it Grand Pooba? Yeah, there's a song I love by Pete Rock. Pete Rock and CL Smooth got a song called They Reminisce Over You. And I love this song. It's about his single mom. She had 2 kids. She got married. You know, she was living well. Da 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 da. She made a change in her life. Great song. Love this song. Okay. It has a message to it. There's a story being told. It's positive and uplifting. But when you get to mumble rap, it's about nothing. It's about nothing. Let's see. Mama, this is, what song is this? This is Money on Money. Okay, this is Young Thug, and I think Future is in this song. All right. Money on money, these millions you dig. I'm spending this ish on my kids. I'm sitting in the bent, not the biz, not the bins. This MF a pink slip, no rent. Okay, so I got all this money and I'm sitting in a Benz that's fully paid off. I don't want you going to do nothing if I gotta be the one to tell you to spend. These F niggas telling for nothing, and I gotta be the one calling them friend. Drop top Rolls Royce. I don't know the kind. I don't know the name of it. So what is the purpose of the music? If the music is made to invoke our language and our action centers, what is the purpose of invoking my action center along the lines of spending money on my bish and having cocaine all over my floor and my garage looking like a driveway? What is uplifting about that? And it's not that rap was never uplifting. Let's look at females in rap, okay? I remember when Queen Latifah came out talking about UNITY. Who you calling a bitch? MC Lyte came out. And I'm not saying that all of their lyrics were just because Roughneck was a stupid song. MC Lyte's Roughneck, that was a stupid song. Listening to the song as an adult, it was dumb. Okay. But so you had this era where rap was uplifting, and that was what was being played on mainstream. Heavy D and the Boys. Okay. My mother used to love Heavy D because his music was uplifting. Even LL Cool J, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad. Not saying his stuff was always perfect, but it wasn't what we have today. It wasn't where you have rappers just talking about taking dudes' heads off. And I'm not saying that this phenomenon just started with mumble rap. No, it's been going on for a while. I remember in the 90s, there was a elected official. I believe she was an elected official named Dolores C. Tucker. Okay, she took a strong stand against gangster rap. She came out against Bone Thugs and Harmony. She came out against Tupac. She came out against NWA, Ice Cube. She came out and she spoke against them, and she talked about how this was doing damage to the Black community, right? And instead of us stopping and listening, we and I'm saying we as Black people allowed the media to paint her as anti-Black. We came up with I don't know why I keep saying we, but the media came up with this narrative that she was against Black men. She was against them trying to be productive. She didn't want their hood stories coming out. She was trying to keep everything quiet and basically just anti-Black man, right? And so I remember when this whole situation was starting and the whole thing was, oh, we're just telling our stories. We're just telling our stories. But the telling of the story never amounted to any good. The telling of the story only amounted to the reproduction of the story. Because now you have kids who live in the suburbs. You have Black kids who live in the suburbs who are trying to emulate this lifestyle. And I have always wondered why. What is it about rap? What is it about hip hop that makes kids want to emulate it? Okay, and here's what's crazy, right? Because our mainstream rap artists aren't Childish Gambino. They're not. Our mainstream rap artists aren't even I'm saying okay, I'm gonna name these people, and spiritually, no, their music is trash. But when it comes to intelligible lyrical content, they have it. Okay. Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover. Tyler the Creator. Who else? Even Frank Ocean. Okay. Their music is intelligible. It has words. It tells a story. It's not just about violence and drug dealing, but you're hard pressed to turn on the radio and hear a Childish Gambino song. Why is that? Why is it not a collective goal to transmit more positive and uplifting thoughts and ideas over these frequencies that are aimed at Black people? Just because it has a hard-hitting bass line does not mean that the music has to be derogatory. We had bass lines in church when we were singing songs about praising the Lord and all the good things that He has done for us. So it's not the instruments themselves that are horrible. I can listen. Matter of fact, I'm watching this show on Netflix called The Four Seasons, right? And for every season, there's a classical artist named Vivaldi, and he has a spring, summer, winter, and fall song. And these are classical songs, right? But when you listen to classical music or music without words, there's no invoking to action. I like to listen to classical music when I'm trying to think, like when I'm getting my show together, or if I'm reading a book, I'll put the music on because it provides a nice atmospheric change, but there's no invocation of my actions or emotions. Well, I'm not going to say emotions because when I listen to it, it reminds me of when I was in school and I would listen to classical music in a library or listen to it on my way home. So it does invoke emotions, but there's no overlying emotion from someone else. I'm not being transmitted someone else's anger, even if it's just made up. And I'm saying that because you have these kids out here like Travis Scott, who else? J. Cole, Roddy Ricch, who else? Somebody else. They got called out for it. But so what you have now is these black kids from the suburbs who are getting these record deals, who are continue to perpetuate these stories instead of telling the truth about their own lives. Yes, I came from a 2-parent home and my education was well funded. My parents dropped me off at school every day and I was very much loved. You don't hear that. And so that is why you'll get these black children whose parents have worked very hard to take them away from that element, but they still want to emulate that element of poverty and ghetto life. That is what is thrown to them. That is what is given to them. Megan Thee Stallion has a nursing degree. How come we don't hear songs about that? Why isn't that her major platform, getting black women into college instead of walking around talking about her wet and how she is savage and all this other stuff? Why isn't that your platform? And then even when you do have a rapper that could have had a positive situation, look at Cardi B. I'm not saying she's great, but she was married, having children in wedlock, having a family, and that blew up. You're capturing these people's emotions through their song, and so now you feel like you have an attachment to this person who does not even know you exist. Why do you think that people are out here paying $4,000 and $6,000 to go see Beyonce? How many different times can you see a person in concert? I don't care how many albums she come out with. It's the same show. It's the fire and the lights and the dancing. And how many times? Okay, let's see. Oh, trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to go over about this. Okay, beat and production, the emotional backbone. Okay, this is a lot. Yes. Rap music is a master class in emotional manipulation using lyrical prowess, beat psychology, vocal delivery, and cultural resonance to evoke specific feelings, from hype and defiance to sorrow and introspection. Here's how it works. Fast beats, the trap hi-hats or drill music's aggressive kicks create tension, adrenaline, and aggression. Slow, heavy bass includes dread, menace, or swagger. Okay, and in here they quoted Nothing But a G Thing by Dr. Dre. Dark, eerie melodies and sampling will trigger nostalgia, or horror movie snippets will amplify fear. Okay, so they got this all broken down into how it's affecting us. The lyrical storytelling will invoke vivid imagery. I see my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. That's a quote by Kendrick Lamar, meant to invoke existential dread. Money, hoes, and clothes, all a nigga knows. This toxic materialism. Catchy choruses like Bad and Bougie brainwash listeners into feeling the song's vibe. Tone as a weapon. Okay, aggression, vulnerability, Flow switches create surprise and awe, cultural and social triggers. So let's talk about this, okay? You have your street narratives, such as Juicy by Biggie Smalls. Y'all remember that when he was talking about my mom push a Cadillac with minks on the back. It's all what I'm trying to remember the beginning of the song. He was talking about the upstairs neighbor calling the police on him. He was just trying to make money to feed his daughter, reading rap magazines, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D up in a limousine, pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Molly Marr. I let my take rock till my tape pop. Smoking weed and bamboo, sipping on private stock. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjacks with the hat to match. Remember Rapping Crew, the harder high. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. Okay, this is meant to make you feel nostalgic. This is meant to make you feel like, oh, I can connect with him. We have the same kind of life. And so now you feel an emotional connection to this person who has no idea that you exist. But they've shared their emotions with you and you feel like it resonates with you because you feel like you come from the same place. Okay? Protest anthems weaponize hope and resistance. Like All Right by Kendrick Lamar. I don't know that song. Toxic flexing, bravado rap or braggadocio rap is what it's called. Songs like Started from the Bottom, Now We Here, Started from the Bottom, Now My Whole Team Here, I done made a meal from the jump, something every single month. You know, it's just basically Drake bragging about his life now. It can inspire ambition or fuel insecurity. And here's my thing. I want them to put a little asterisk next to inspire ambition, because what is it inspiring you to be ambitious toward? Again, we have this flex culture. Paxton, ladies and gentlemen. What are you doing? Playing? You want to go back and play? No? Oh, you going to sit down with me for a few minutes? Okay. So yeah, with songs like Started from the Bottom, it can fuel ambition or fuel insecurity. But what kind of ambition is it fueling, right? Because these songs are not giving our children a roadmap onto how to achieve this success. Not really. No, not at all. They just talk about, I got this, I got that. Look at my cars, look at my diamonds, look at my hoes. Look at this. There's no laying out of a plan to achieve this similar lifestyle to me. In fact, some of the very essence of rap music is telling other people why they can't ever be like you. And so now you're fueling a generation of people to feel like, oh, by whatever means necessary, I have to achieve this. And so now you got people being robbed. Now you got home doors being kicked in. Now you have drugs being sold in our community. Now you have women being prostituted, all for the love of money to achieve these goals. So you can walk around talking about how you and your friends started from the bottom. Now you here. How you can talk about how I never see you with the same hoe twice, like Young Thug. Let's see. Okay. Negative emotional manipulation, glorifying trauma. Drill music does nothing but glorify trauma. Why? Because all they're talking about is killing people. And I really hate when people try to use the example of the songs that David sang after he came back from war as an example of why drill music is okay. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you really comparing the king of Israel going to war on behalf of the people of God to some young Negroes talking about killing each other and using it to justify that? That is low if I've ever heard it. Thank you for the likes. That is low if I've ever heard it. This music is basically encouraging our young men to go out here and to take each other's lives, which is going to end up with one person dead, one person in jail, two families grieving, children without their fathers, mothers without their children, communities without strong leadership. This destructive music is literally destroying our community. It has destroyed and it is destroying. No. If your language and your action centers of your brain, the parts of your brain that charge your emotions, the parts of your brain that determine how you're going to live your life, remember, you learn things to implement later yourself. You learn and you practice it in your head. I'm a visual reader. I'm a visual listener. When I read something, I'm picturing it in my head. Okay, like when I'm reading the Bible about David walking along the roof of a building and seeing Bathsheba, I'm picturing a brick building, David walking around with his secret service, as it were, at the time, looking over, seeing a woman getting. I'm picturing this as it's being told to me. Even when I listen to rap music, I'm picturing this. Okay, Biggie Smalls listening to his Let His Tape Rock Till His Tape Pop, I'm picturing it. So if I'm listening to someone talk about how they never had the same woman twice, then I'm not supposed to have the same woman over and over again. The sign of success to me, what I should be striving for, is to never have to be seen with the same woman twice. If I'm being told that if a nigga disrespect me, I gotta knock his head off, then that's what I'm picturing. The next time somebody disrespects me, now I gotta knock their head off. And it's dangerous these days because these kids are not using fisticuffs anymore. How many songs do we hear glorifying using a switch? And it's to the point where we talk about it so casually and even joke about it. And people say, oh, you use comedy as like a little relief. But let's look at the fact that gun use among our people is way too common. So much so that we joke about it, we talk about it, we laugh about it. So listen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But seriously, young pew violence is at an all-time high with our young ones. It is, absolutely. And you can't not blame it on the music when that's all the music talks about. You wonder why these kids are walking around here zombied out. Y'all remember that song Good Times by Styles P? I get high. I get high. I get high. It's a whole song about him getting high. The song we talked about with Future, Percocet. Molly Percocet. Something. I don't remember the rest of the words or something. But there are a lot of these songs out here talking about being on lean and everything else. Oh gosh. It's a song that I love called Everybody Knows by the Neptunes. And I didn't realize it was talking about cocaine until I actually listened to the song. All the girls standing in the line for the bathroom. So please, I'm begging you, even as adults, to review, suggestive programming, exactly. I'm begging you, even as an adult, to like review the content that you are taking in, okay? And a lot of this, a lot of our expressions, symbolisms, and mannerisms from rap music is now coming over into our YouTube content. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's look at somebody like Drewski. His whole content is based on having a bunch of women doing crazy stuff to other people. It's a hip-hop based genre of content. Did y'all watch Could Have Been Love? Don't get me wrong, it was entertaining. It was funny as heck. But you got all these women going in and out, doing all these crazy things. And I'm not saying it started there, because I remember when Flavor of Love first came on. So I'm not saying it started there, but we see how it's continuing to progress. And honestly, as long as there are people who do not have Black people's interests at heart, scratch that. As long as there are people who want to see the end and demise of Black people, you will not see the end of hip hop culture. Because there's always going to be a Black person willing to sign their soul on a dotted line. If you're familiar with the story of the Maccabees, and how there were certain Jews who turned to help the Greeks destroy Israel and try to defeat the Maccabees, there's always been that element among us. Okay? So it's not going anywhere, but the best that we can do is, again, be conscious of the content that we are taking in and talk to your kids, man. Talk to your kids about the content. Let them know, like, listen, this is play. This is an act. This is like a play that you watch on television. None of this is real. And the parts that are real is nothing you want to emulate, okay? Because I know what y'all about to say. Well, what about Mo3? And what about Lil Durk and all them in jail? And Young Thug and them just got out of jail. Yes, and who wants to emulate that? Is that the future that you want for your children? Are these the emotions that you want them to convey and carry on? You got people like Shamar and Saucy Santana out here making music in full-on beards and bust downs. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's not even an art form anymore. It's not even an art form anymore. So please, just consider that, y'all, when y'all are making your content decisions, when you're talking to your kids. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to what they're listening to. Don't lecture them. You can't ask your kids to be honest with you and then get mad at them when they're honest with you. You can't ask them to be honest with you and then berate them and put them down when they're honest with you. Them being honest with you has to be the start to a conversation. Okay, and you may not get to where you want in that conversation, but you have to at least keep planting that seed. You have to at least put it in their mind, and you have to pray and let the Most High do the rest. But if you're not even addressing the issue, they don't even know that it's a problem. Okay? I'm sorry, Pastor. I just had you sitting here in my door. Anything you want to say to the people? No, not at all. All right. The loud one is upstairs. Atticus is upstairs. He must be playing around a Fortnite. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. I appreciate you so much. I hope it was something I said that was helpful, whether you're listening live or on the replay. I want to encourage you, repent and turn back to the Most High. Repent and turn back to the Most High. Ask him to renew your mind. You know, you've been listening to music. Pay attention to how the music you're listening to is affecting your mood. You get in a car tomorrow, you turn on the radio, see how you feel when you turn it off. Is it making you angry while you're listening to it? Are you speeding down the highway when you're listening to your favorite song? You might need to, you know what I'm saying, reconsider that. Maybe just listen to something different while you're driving. You know what I'm saying? Join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock for Sabbath class with Monologue McGad, brought to you by Fruit Forward Fellowship. That is tomorrow at 8 p.m. right here, same bat time, same bat station, not same bat time, same bat station, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Join me here next Thursday again for another episode of Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. I'm live every Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can catch me on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on the Messiah TV app. What's up? Oh, you just want to push your button. And oh, guys, I forgot to. How could I forget this? Hold on a second. Oh man, how could I forget this? Oh my gosh. Yes, baby. I know. I forgot this, y'all. Hold on. And I meant to pull it up. Where is it? Okay. Hold on. It might not be up yet. Where is it? No. Okay, I cannot pull it up right now. Maybe it's not up yet. It said it would take 72 hours. But my ebook, Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, has been completed. I'm waiting for it to come up on Kindle to order it, but it is not up yet. Okay, it is not up yet. I'm trying to see if I can find it anywhere. No, it's not up yet. Okay. But I will be posting it. I'll post it when it becomes available, when it goes live. You can download it. I have not made it it goes back to Orpheus and the mystery codes. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that because I didn't know. I published research on the patents that the U.S. have since the 1950s that causes this. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I would love to see that. Oh, sorry, y'all. I missed all these comments. Okay, thank you. Look, my husband put the lyrics. A whole bunch of foolishness, like my grandma would say. Brianna, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. I'm so sorry, y'all. I forgot the comments. I'm sorry. I know. I don't know how I forgot why. I meant to pull it up and have it all ready for you guys. No, it's not going to take 3 months. I just... Paxton, you can't shake the table, buddy. Yeah, I don't know why I can't find it just yet. But I will put it up. It'll be on all my socials. I'm going to try to get hubby to put it up for you guys. If it's available tomorrow, it definitely should be. I'm so sad. I really wanted to show it to you guys. But all right. I love y'all so much. The book is called Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. 8 questions to consider while waiting. I would definitely recommend that book for anybody that's dating, thinking about dating. Maybe you're taking a break and want to do some self-evaluation before you get back into the dating game. So yes, that book will be available hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. If you would like to donate to the ministry efforts here at the House of Mono, please head to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, you can leave stars. Okay, you can give stars. That is a way to support what we have going on here at the House of Mono as well. So you have stars on Facebook. You could donate to the Cash App $ the House of Mono, and you can purchase my ebook, Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, 8 questions to consider while waiting, as soon as it's available. Okay. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope something I said was useful to you, whether you're listening live or on the replay. I will see y'all later in these social media streets. Shalom, shalom. God bless you and good night.
Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. Daddy came up.
One time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue Magog. Now also available on Nasaya TV on Roku and Fire.